And congratulations, guys, on Booksmart. I just laughed so much watching this film. It was hugely enjoyable. Like, for me, this film would be up there with, like, classics like Mean Girls and Superbad. And I was wondering, when you guys were reading the script, were those kind of movies coming to your mind, or what were your initial thoughts?
Definitely they did come to mind, and they were huge inspiration for us, those movies. And I don't think we would have been able to make Booksmart without those movies. And I think I knew that they were...
a little.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
sorry.
Thank you. I knew that those films are very... I knew it would be a Breakfast Club type of movie, but I knew that this one was going to be different, and it was going to change the game in a big way.
I mean, the genre is so beloved, like a teen anthem and a last day of high school sort of moment. So I think in that way it was such a recognizable moment of time. But at the same time, I'd never read anything like Booksmart. It was so fresh and vibrant and funny in a very unique way. A comedy that was... that comes from their intellect and their love for each other, our characters. And so it was like, in part, oh, I know this, I love this moment of time. But in the other part, it was like, oh, this is so fresh and so exciting in that way.
There are so many like great scenes in this, and I heard that you guys had so much fun during the production of it. But if there was one standout scene that you found the most fun to do, which one would that be?
Lisa Kudrow.
Lisa Kudrow
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
Legend.
Legend.
You can't work Lisa Kudrow and not say that that's your favorite scene, because she's just a unicorn.
I can't believe she was my mom for a moment in time.
Yeah. She'll always be
And
your
Will
mom.
Forte was my dad. You know, that's...
The two of them together improvising, and just... It was like watching a comedy masterclass. It was like taking a comedy masterclass.
Kids in a candy store.
Yeah, truly. It was so special. But so that's the one that like will forever be so insane.
Yeah.
But there's so many. There's so many.
Did you guys get a bit of space to improvise as well? Like, did Olivia create that kind of atmosphere for you guys too?
Yeah.
It depended on the day, though, because some scenes called to really stick to the script. The writer was so brilliant. Her name is Katie Silberman, and she's an incredible writer. We bow down to her. She's just a genius. But some days called for less improv, because we really needed to be specific in our dialogue. But then other times it was, Olivia was always really loose and really open to anything, really.
I think that a big theme in this is about, stereotypes and labels, and how we all have a tendency to put stereotypes and labels on one another, but actually people are so complex, they have so many dimensions going on. I was wondering if you guys have ever experienced, having a label or stereotype, forced on you that you have to fight back against, particularly as actors. Is typecasting something that you're ever concerned about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, I come from a world of musical theater, and musicals are they kind of were created on that, like the A story, the B story, the ingenue, the character role. They're very specific in that way, especially the classic musicals. So I grew up sort of always, you either identified as like an ingenue or as a character actress, of which I obviously was the latter, which I always really loved. But I think as I got older, I realized that those types sort of didn't have to be the way they were. And my first role on Broadway was, my only role on Broadway was Minnie Fay in Hello Dolly, which originally was played by like a really tiny blonde girl. And so I think it's really exciting now that we see people breaking that kind of concept in theater, but it was definitely always something that I grew up with.
Yeah. I think definitely as actors, I think it's just a general thing that people sort of see you as one character that you've played for a long time. I was on a sitcom for 8 years, and people really started seeing me as that one character, and even thought that that's how I was like in real life, and that was how that they really I don't know. I was really defined by that person I played, and that was sort of hard to like juggle, but yeah.
That's what we love about the film, as you said. You put it really beautifully. It's a celebration of who people actually are, not who we see them as, like, at first sight. And
it's about asking people to communicate and look at the world a little differently in that way.
And have fun.
And have fun while doing it.
I think that, you know, you guys really brought Molly and Amy to life, and we would love to see that story continue. So if there were a sequel, if it were to happen, where would you like to see them go next?
What's
Well-
it called, pup?
Booksmarter.
I like it.
Well, Amy's gonna come back from Botswana.
Yeah.
Maybe like
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd love to see them be like in the next phase, like maybe 5 or 6 years from now.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're, I don't know, professors together or something. Like
that'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
Awesome, for another night of debauchery.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. Great.
So
Thank you
nice
so
to
much,
meet
you
you.
guys.
It's the last day. We got you through high school.
I need to go over the end of the year budget numbers.
Can't we just graduate, head off to college? That should do it, right?
We will persist.
I can't hear you. I can't soundproof glass.